The time has come to take the oath and join the adventure.
Yo, dudes, the Empire's pretty chill. Maybe you could, join it or something.
Hey everyone, Lucimus Prime here, so it's time for a special movie review today, and this is going to be, of course, the final review I'll be doing of the year, and I thought I got with a bang by reviewing what is one of my all-time favourite films, one from my childhood, which I absolutely adore to this day, and it's a film from the 80s as well, or an adventure comedy film as well, which is directed by the absolute legend Richard Donner, from a screenplay by Chris Columbus, based on a story by Steven Spielberg, and this one, of course, which I'm going to be reviewing, is, of course, none other than 1985's The Goonies. So, now when it comes, of course, to this film, and so how was it made? And so I've just said, of course, it's based on a story by Steven Spielberg, written by Chris Columbus, and Richard Donner, may rest in peace, directed it. And the film was, of course, produced by Spielberg's company called Amblin Entertainment, in the 80s. Filming began on October 22nd, 1984, and it lasted for 5 months, with additional 6 weeks of audio dubbing and recording being used as well. And the script was also pretty lengthy, at more than 120 pages. So much so that several scenes were cut from the film, and you can, of course, see the lead scene, of course, on the film's home media. And much of the film was done on location in Astoria, in Oregon, which is where the film takes place, with others such as in Cannon Beach as well, and the ending scene filmed in Cannon Beach, featuring, of course, Haystack Rock. So, when it comes to the film's release dates, the film was then released on June 7th, 1985 in the United States. It grossed $125 million worldwide on a budget of $19 million, and critics reviewed the film positively, and it's become a cult film. And in 2017, the film was selected for preservation in the United States National Film Registry by the Library of Congress as being culturally, historically, or aesthetically significant. Now, when it comes, of course, to my reaction to this film then, so when I was a kid, I was really into, adventure films when I was younger, such as, for example, Indiana Jones and stuff like that. And I heard about this film being a similar sort of thing, an adventure movie, but it's about, of course, a group of kids, or teenagers even, going on an adventure. And I thought this looked pretty interesting, so I was also keen to check it out because Ke-Huy Quan, of course, is in this one as a character called Data, and I, of course, already knew him being Indiana Jones and the Temple of Doom, so I thought I'd check this out as well for that reason, because of the appealing look of the cast, because it had a very great cast of actors. Many of them, of course, had their film debuts in this one, which is pretty awesome. So, and also because I also Joe Pantoliano from The Matrix, I also thought I'd check it out for him as well, so that's what I did. And when I saw this film, my mind was absolutely blown, because I absolutely adore this film, and regard it as one of my favourite films of all time, and easily one of my favourite films of all time by Richard Donner. Probably my favourite film he's done outside of, say, for example, his Superman movies, because I, of course, love those very much from my childhood. When I found out by the same director as for Superman films, this film, I was definitely sold on seeing this film as well, absolutely. So, and I definitely regard it as one of his best films of all time. May Richard rest in peace. He's an absolute legend of a director, absolutely. And I definitely love this film. I've rewatched it many times in my life as well. And I even, of course, have this 4K steelbook of it by Titan and Colt as well, which is pretty awesome. It also came with a poster, which I put on my wall, and it's on display on my wall to this day. And, of course, I'm wearing this badge here, which came in a steelbook. And, of course, I've got my Goonies hat on as well, because I absolutely adore this film so much. One of my favourite films of all time. I even rewatched it recently for this review, and to this day, I still absolutely adore it. So, now, what is the movie about then? So, this film, of course, tells the story of a group of kids who live in the Goondocks neighborhood of Astoria, Oregon, and they attempt to save their homes from foreclosure, and in doing so, they discover an old treasure map that takes them on an adventure to unearth the long-lost fortune of One-Eyed Willie, a legendary 17th century pirate. During their adventure, they are pursued by a family of criminals who want the treasure for themselves. So, now, when it comes to what I think is great about this film then, so I think the film has a really amazing cast of actors. Some of them, of course, as I said, have their film debuts in this film. So, I definitely really love the cast for the Goonies themselves. So, for example, I really love Sean Astin as Mikey Walsh, who is, of course, the leader of the Goonies in this film. And considering, of course, that Sean Astin was a kid when he played Mikey in this, I think he did a really great job playing him. This is also his film debut. He was absolutely brilliant in the role, in my opinion. And Mikey's probably my second favourite role is behind Samwise Gamgee in the Lord of the Rings movie trilogy, and I think he did a really great job playing Mikey in this film when he was a kid. because he made Mikey a very likeable character, a very relatable character as well, I must also add. And a character that you definitely love to watch because of his urge to not give up on finding a treasure. And there's many parts in the film where the gang nearly, of course, do leave the treasure behind, such as, of course, when we're about to leave the hideout before Mikey just goes to the fireplace, and also in the wishing well scene. I love how Mikey was so insistent on not wanting to give up, and that's why I love his character very much. I also as well love the addition of Josh Brolin in also his film debut as Brand, who is Mikey's older brother, and I think he played Brand really well in this film. At the start of the film, he's a little bit, of course, mean to his little brother in some areas, and sometimes to the others too as well, but there is some parts where he shows his kind side, such as, for example, of course, when he says he's going to miss the home and all that, and they're both upset about losing the home. So he does show his kind side, of course, and he's also likeable, of course, when the gang get together, of course, and I think he does a very good job playing Brand in this film. Because this will be his first ever role. I think Josh Brolin did a really brilliant job, and he proved to be a great actor later on down the line in his career. Because, obviously, of course, in the 2010s, he'd, of course, become widely acclaimed by the world because of his amazing performance as Thanos in the MCU, of course. But he definitely started really well in his career with his film, absolutely, and he went on to play lots of great roles since then. Josh Brolin's an amazing actor. I also as well love the addition of Jeff Cohen as Chunk in this film. Chunk, in my opinion, was really funny in this film. I think Jeff Cohen absolutely nailed it playing Chunk in this film. Like, he was so entertaining. He no longer acting because he retired in 1991, but I think Chunk is definitely, for me, his best role of all time because he did a really amazing job playing him. He made him a very funny character in this. I also as well love Corey Feldman in this film as Mouth, who is actually called Clark Devereux, but of course, he's nicknamed Mouth because he never shuts up and he's got a cheeky tongue. And Mouth, in my opinion, was also very entertaining. And definitely, in my opinion, probably my favourite role from Corey Feldman because it's what introduced me to him. I think he did a really great job playing Mouth in this film. And I'd go on to love him more in things such as, for example, Gremlins and also, as well, Stand By Me and The Lost Boys as well. I think he did a really great job playing Mouth in this film and did a really brilliant job playing him. He was very funny in this film. I also mentioned Ke-Huy Quan earlier in this, because he, of course, plays Data in this film, who's actually called Richard Wang, but he's nicknamed Data. And he's definitely, in my opinion, a very cool character in this film because he's a James Bond fan like myself, and he of course, has lots of cool gadgets, and he was definitely, in my opinion, entertaining with gadgets in this film. For example, of course, his grapple that he tried to use on the battle at the start of the film, but it unfortunately goes wrong because he gets pulled into it himself. And also, as well, like his boxing glove hidden under his coat, and also, as well, his shoes that shoot out tar, which causes the Patellis to fall, which is definitely, in my opinion, really funny. So Data had his fair share of really entertaining moments in this film thanks to his gadgets, and Ke-Huy Quan did a brilliant job. I regard Data playing my third favourite role is behind his roles in Everything Everywhere All at Once and in Indiana Jones and Temple of Doom. I thought it was great in Mrs. Data. I also as well love Kerry Green in this as Andy, who of course is Brand's love interest. I thought she was good in this as well as Andy, in my opinion, too. And she also has a fair share of getting scared in this film, of course, in some parts, because she has like a panic attack. I can understand why, of course, because it's a pretty scary situation she's in. Especially when she's a skeleton and she screams, I can tell they don't understand her fear. But nonetheless, I think Andy's also a likeable character as well. And I also, as well, love Martha Plimpton in this as Steph as well, who is Andy's best friend. I think Steph was also, in my opinion, a good character as well. Definitely had a fair share of funny moments too as well. I think Martha Plimpton did a really good job playing her in this. When it comes to my favourite character in this film, though, it's easily, for me, of course, the character who's actually a member of Patellis when it comes to the children. And that, of course, is Sloth, who's played in this by the absolute legend, which is John Matuszak, may he rest in peace. I definitely really love Sloth in this film, who's actually called Lotney, but he's nicknamed Sloth. And I think he's definitely, in my opinion, a really amazing character, a very likeable character as well. And I love his story where, of course, at the start of the film, we think, of course, he's like a monster type of character because he roars all the time and he's chained to a chair watching TV. And he's being, of course, bullied by his brothers. We at first think he's a bad guy at first, but then, when Chunk, of course, meets him, of course, when he's tied to a chair as well with Sloth, we actually get to see that Sloth is actually a very friendly, likeable character. So I definitely love about Sloth in this film. And I think he had great chemistry as well with Chunk in this film as well, which is definitely really amazing. I've also got to give lots of praise to this film's makeup department for what we did with John Matuszak, where we gave him the makeup, and we also as well gave him a remote controlled eye as well for Sloth as well, which is a different position to John's actual eye. And they did a very good job with syncing of the blinking, because we had to, of course, time Matuszak's blinking to Sloth's blinking with his other eye. And I think they did a very good job with that in this film. Now, when it comes to the other Fratellis as well, I definitely thought the three of them were really funny in this film. And definitely, in my opinion, great villains who you love to hate because they're so funny. I definitely love the legendary Anne Ramsey, may she rest in peace, as Mama Fratelli, who of course is a matriarch of the Fratellis. She's definitely, in my opinion, a very funny villain, I must say, really. One who's also as well brutal and strict with her children, and of course, she's mean to the Goonies themselves as well. But I think Anne Ramsey did a brilliant job playing Mama Fratelli, and this one made her a very entertaining villain. Great to listen to as well with her funny lines. Definitely my favourite role of Anne Ramsey, may she rest in peace. I also as well love Joe Pantoliano in this as Francis Fratelli, who of course is Mama Fratelli's favourite son. And I think he was also, in my opinion, a very funny villain as well. For example, because of his laugh, and also because he doesn't want people to know he's bald because he was a two-player in the film. And that made him, in my opinion, really funny. Joe Pantoliano is, in my opinion, a very good actor. I already, of course, loved him as Cypher in The Matrix, so when I heard he was in this film, I was definitely very keen to watch it because of that. And I definitely think Francis is probably my second favourite role, is behind Cypher, because I think he did a great job playing Francis in this film. I also, as well, definitely love Robert Davi in this, as, of course, Jake Fratelli, who, of course, is Mark Fratelli's counterfeiter son, as well, who, of course, escapes from prison at the start of the film. He definitely made Jake, in my opinion, also an entertaining character as well, definitely very funny as well, mainly because he loves singing all the time. And I gotta say, he's a pretty good singer, Robert Davi. Definitely love his singing in this film. And I think he made Jake entertaining for that, of course, and a very funny character must also add to as well. I think he did a great job. Definitely fit role of Robert Davi, good actor. And there's other great supporting cast members in this too as well. For example, I definitely liked Keith Walker, may he rest in peace, as Irving, who is Mike and Bran's dad. And also as well, I did also like Mary Ellen Trainor, may she rest in peace, as well as Irene, who of course is Mike and Bran's mother. And I also as well definitely loved Lupe Ontiveros, may she rest in peace, as Rosalita, who of course is the housekeeper for the Walshes, who only speak Spanish. She was definitely, in my opinion, also really funny, especially in the scenes where Mouth is giving her the wrong translations. Like, that part, I just can't stop laughing at. I didn't even realise what he was talking about until I was older, and I rewatched it, and I realised why she was so shocked and horrified. I was like, oh no. I mean, if you guys watch the film, you'll definitely know why I find that so funny, but yeah, she was just so funny in this film. And there's other great supporting cast members too. For example, Steve Antin as Troy, who of course is the son of of course the foreclosure manager called Elgin Perkins, played by Kurt Hansen. I think Troy was also, in my opinion, also a good villain character as well in this film as well. And the rest of the cast was also great as well in this film. As well as that, I also as well definitely think the film has a really great pace from start to finish, because it's a really fun adventure film, of course, and I think that the pace out really well. The story, in my opinion, is fantastically written. And considering the film is 6 minutes short of 2 hours, in my opinion, it's paced really well. It never gets boring or too slow or anything like that. In my opinion, it's paced brilliantly, and that's why I definitely really love it. So I definitely really love that about the film, how it was so well paced. And I also as well definitely love the musical score, which is composed by Dave Grusin. Definitely, in my opinion, really amazing music to listen to in this film. And I gotta say, some parts of the music remind me of the Indiana Jones film a little bit. Is that just me? The music was very similar, must say, really. Probably fits well because it's an adventure, just like Indiana Jones is when it comes to looking for treasure. And if you guys would ask me what my favourite scene is in the film, it's definitely, for me, of course, the final fight on One-Eyed Willie's ship. Like, the final fight, in my opinion, is absolutely epic, in my opinion, on the Inferno. Like, just absolutely brilliant. And I especially love how Chunk and Sloth come to help out, of course, when we catch up to them. And of course, my favourite scene in the film, most definitely, is when Sloth rips off his shirt to reveal a Superman symbol. Superman symbol standing, of course, for Sloth. And we only get to hear the Superman theme by John Williams playing, which is definitely, in my opinion, really amazing. Definitely, for me, the best part of the film. And I love how he defeats his two brothers, and he throws Mama Fratelli off the ship as well, which is definitely satisfying, because it's revealed, of course, that she dropped him when he was a baby. So like, I definitely really love how, of course, that he got his revenge on Fratelli at long last. Definitely well-deserved, absolutely. And I also think the film has a very heartwarming ending as well, because at the end of the film, of course, the groups, of course, come back to a beach, of course, after they escape from the Inferno, of course, caving in, of course, in the cave. And the Fratellis get arrested by the police. And then Sloth is saved by the Goonies because they prevent him from getting arrested too, because he's a Fratelli. Chunk invites him to live with him, and Sloth accepts it, which is very amazing. And then Rosalie discovers as well that some jewels were left behind in one of Mikey's bags, and of course that is enough, of course, to save the houses. And then, of course, Mikey, his father, rips up, of course, the foreclosure papers, and they negate the foreclosure. So they celebrate, of course, their success, and they save their houses. And then at the end of the film, we see the Inferno leaving. Definitely, in my opinion, a really amazing ending where we see the Inferno finally free from the cave, and I definitely really love that. So the film, in my opinion, is fun from start to finish, with lots of great moments, with also great humour, which makes me die of laughter to this day. Like, it's just humour that I find so perfectly funny, in my opinion. Never gets old whatsoever. I mean, we watch a film, maybe we love a film so much more to this day. Yeah, the more watch this film, the more I absolutely love it. Like, definitely a great start to lots of the actors in their careers, because they definitely started with a bang, absolutely. Just a really amazing film from start to finish. If you guys have not seen the Goonies, then please do. I mean, it's a fan favourite for lots of people, because I do believe this is actually my favourite film of the actor James McAvoy. I can definitely see why, because it's a masterpiece. So it's definitely really amazing. That's his favourite film. And yeah, I'd recommend, if you guys have not seen it, it's definitely, in my opinion, a really amazing film. Like, something that you want to see for like a fun adventure, most definitely. Just a really amazing film that never gets old. It's hard to believe that of course, in 2025, it's going to be 40 years old, because in my opinion, it holds up phenomenally. Just an absolutely amazing film from start to finish. And of course, as well, the fact that it also as well re-released the film in 4K as well just also shows you how well the film holds up really well, and how much relevance it is to this day. And the legacy of it is definitely incredible, because even as well, of course, in 2015, of course, the game LEGO Dimensions came out, and in its second year of where the characters were released, they actually released Sloth as a playable character for that game. And you could literally play like a LEGO version of a Goonies film, which is definitely, in my opinion, really amazing. And you also as well got to play the other Goonies characters when switching to when you finish that level, which is definitely, in my opinion, really awesome. I remember playing that, it was so much fun to do. But yeah, this film is definitely, in my opinion, a timeless masterpiece. So that was, of course, me doing my review for 985's The Goonies. So if I was to give this film a score out of 10, well, because it's one of my favourite films of all time, I will definitely give it, for me, a full-blown 10 out of 10. Because I absolutely adore this from start to finish. An absolute masterpiece. If you guys haven't seen it, please do. It's absolutely amazing. One of Richard Honor's best of his best. May Richard rest in peace. Absolute legend. So, you know the drill, guys. Be sure to give this video a like. Also, be sure to let in the comments what you guys think of the Goonies. If you know in the comments below what you think of it. Also, be sure to join Team Plan by pressing subscribe and news content in the future. And Goonies never say die.